The Lord is my shepherd, there is nothing I shall want. Fresh and green are the pastures where he gives me repose. Near restful waters he leads me. To revive my drooping spirit. He guides me along the right path. He is true to his name. If I should walk in the valley of darkness, no evil would I fear. You are there with your crook and your staff. With these you give me comfort. You have prepared a banquet for me in the sight of my foes. My head you have anointed with oil. My cup is overflowing. Surely goodness and kindness shall follow me all the days of my life. In the Lord's house shall I dwell forever and ever.
Hello, Monsignor Daniel McHugh. My reflection for the 16th week of Ordinary Time. Through Jesus, both of us have in the one Spirit our way to come to the Father. Ephesians 2:18. Hatred will never win was the sentiment of Jadon Sancho, one of the England football team who suffered racial abuse on social media this week when he missed a penalty at the European Cup final. Marcus Rashford had his image on public display in his home area defaced. This was the young man who did so much to ensure free school meals for the young people living in poverty during the pandemic. A good deal of shock and anger at what has happened came to the surface in Parliament during the week. At various times the Church has spoken out on racism too, most recently in March 2021, urging Catholic organisations and institutions to review themselves and, quote, look again at how they could better serve minority ethnic communities in our society. That's the Catholic Association for Racial Justice. This was in response to the parliamentary report of the Commission on race and ethnic disparities. Could we be party to such discrimination? Obviously, we're going to say, no, we want no part in this. But we need to examine ourselves at a deeper level. I expect many of us have been shocked to hear about the discovery of unmarked graves of Indigenous children in Canada. The Catholic Church and other churches were part of the residential school system, which ended in the 1970s, a national program that tried to integrate these children and is said to have denied them their cultural heritage and language. We can so easily, as individuals and a community, become part of what Pope Francis calls ideological colonization, terminology that needs further unpacking. But in this context, we are very conscious that Aboriginal people were looked down upon. And we all have that tendency. We need to think of ourselves as better than everyone else. It makes us feel more comfortable, I suppose. The continuing reading from the letter to the Ephesians for the 16th Sunday helps us to see where we are coming from as Catholic Christians. The author is dealing with the reality of division in those days too, between Jew and Gentile. The two are made one by Christ, who breaks down, quote, the dividing wall of enmity, for through him we both have access in one Spirit to the Father. When Pope St. John Paul II went to Canada, he said this in an address affirming the dignity of First Nations peoples. By coming among you, I have wished to underline your dignity as native peoples. The colonial approach, as we know, was not always respectful of the native peoples in the past, and that mentality, now ideologically grounded, not respecting people, their culture and beliefs, we experience as Catholics today when we try to stand up, for example, for our beliefs in the sanctity of life and the beauty of marriage. This is the other side of the coin, of course. With the discovery of mass graves, Catholics in Canada and abroad are wrestling with the knowledge that church leaders have been complicit in evil throughout our history. Our church is holy because it springs from the heart of Christ, and yet her members are fallen men and women. As we learn about the ugliness of abuse and slavery and prejudice, we must offer prayers and actions of reparation, and learn from the witness of those men and women who fought evil within the church as well as without. As we celebrate the Eucharist together again following the pandemic, we celebrate our unity in Christ in sharing the one bread and the one cup. And as we offer each other the sign of peace, we are challenged to make it a reality in our own lives and the lives of others.